right, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of the Unscripted 101 podcast. I'm your host, HD, aka DJ Briscoe, and let's get to the first topic. Let's talk about the Nets 129-100 win over the Sixers tonight. It was a blowout. If you guys watched the game at all, there was never a chance for the Sixers. They never got it going. It was very, very lethargic performance by both Harden and Embiid and the rest of the supporting cast. But what was interesting about tonight's game was how the Sixers really started off. They started off very slow. They never really picked it up. And I thought it was very intriguing just to watch their mood. I mean, the crowd was hype, the energy was live, but the team never really was able to get it going. And it was interesting how KD and Kyrie had it going. You know, Kyrie coming off that 50 piece against the Hornets, dropping 9 for 12 from the 3-point line and doing all sorts of things in that game to lead the Nets to a 132-121 victory in that particular game, which was a very interesting game, to say the least. If you get a chance, go to YouTube. They always got the highlights, so check that out. One of the things about Kyrie, before I get back to the Nets Sixers game, is he has the essence of skill set that is ridiculous. This guy could do so many things effortless. His shooting is ridiculous. His dribbling is just a marvel of greatness. His footwork, his sense of the game, and a lot of people question his dedication to the game. They question why is he doing what he's doing right now. And some of you don't understand it. Some of you don't understand it. Some of you do. Me personally, I really don't care. I could see where he's coming from based on how society treats black people. I'm just going to keep it 100. So I could see that, but that's a whole different topic. But if you get a chance, check out that game. And if you want to see more Kyrie performances, before I get back to the Sixers Nets topic, go check out the game that happened in 2015 when he dropped 57 against the Spurs, which the anniversary to that 7-year anniversary is actually coming up on the 12th of March. So YouTube that. Very interesting to see how this guy could just absolutely take over a game without a sweat. But back to tonight's topic with the Nets and the Sixers. Durant and Kyrie they set the tone, and everybody else followed. All the supporting cast, the bench, everybody. Even Ben Simmons was very live, and that's a positive thing for Ben because Ben needs that right now. He hasn't been the most popular player in the league. Unfortunately, his agents has failed him miserably in many departments. That's another topic. I feel that agents should be very, very vocal and very, very instrumental in their client's career because they got to make their money too. But I won't talk about Rich Paul. He's a very interesting character. But that I digress. What happened with Ben today on the bench was really cool. I don't agree with him coming out and warming up. Based on the fact of the crowd, and this Philly crowd is very, very intense. They're very cold-hearted. They don't forget. But, he still was able to survive that. We're going to see how things progress with him so he could actually, finally get back on the court and do something because, eventually he's got to get out there. Kyrie's not going to be able to play these games unless these mandates are lifted. And the way things are going, they're going to take their sweet time to lift these mandates. But that I digress. But we know how things go, and hopefully it does happen. But back to the game, I felt that the Sixers never really got into the game. A lot of people are saying, "Oh yeah, this is the end of the season." This is just one game. Yes, it's a statement game. Yes, stars are supposed to step up. And yes, things are supposed to look different on the score sheet. Many of you probably was expecting a close game going right down to the wire, and instead you guys turned off your TVs at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Fans were leaving. I was watching the game, and I stopped watching the game with about 3 minutes to go. But you know what? This is basketball, and if you're a supporter of the game. There's a difference between fans and supporters, but it's a whole different topic again. When you support the game and respect the game and understand the game, these games are going to happen. Now you got to respond. How do you respond? How do you practice? How do you watch game film? All these things are going to be very instrumental in how you approach the next game and the rest of the season, because it's easy to jump back up. But if this is a playoff series, it's a different story. So the Sixers will be fine. But come playoff time, when things are more intense and things are more locked down and defenses start to rise, we're going to see what the Sixers are going to do, because the Sixers right now don't have a defender. Neither does the Nets. The Nets are sitting in 7th place. And, they're right behind the Raptors. Right now they're in the play-in situation. So if I'm correct, yes, they are in the playoff 8th, something like that, if I'm correct. But I'll check that out later on. But nevertheless, they are in the playoffs, play-in situation, and I expect them to get in and potentially could be a first-round matchup against the Sixers. And I'll tell you this, if it's a road situation for the Nets, which would give them Kyrie for some games, I could see the Sixers losing that series. So let's calm down on this game tonight, although everybody wants to jump. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a very, very interesting game tonight. But there's a lot of things you could take from the game, but there's a lot of things you can say, whatever. So, yes, that's my take on the whole situation. Also on the Lakers situation, was interesting the other night with the 139-130 loss, with everybody making noise about LeBron passing the ball to Melo. Everybody's got to stop and leave the guy alone. Okay, he made the play that he felt he could make, and he gave it to a guy who's considered one of the best shooters in the history of the game. So we got to stop trying to, make all this noise about, it's the wrong play, it's this and that. Oh, please, come on. Can you make that play? I have no problems with LeBron making that play. I have no problems with LeBron making that pass to Melo. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. You got all these analysts on shows like First Take and First Things First and this show and that show, blah, 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 saying, it's the wrong play, da, da, da. Most of these guys have never been in that situation, and they would not understand it. If I'm on the court and I know a guy that's going to... most of us want to shoot the ball. I want to shoot the ball. But sometimes there's a guy, he could make that shot in his sleep, or he's considered one of the best ever. I've had guys pass me the ball, and I'm not a superstar, I'm not a professional, but I've played the game long enough, being a fairly decent jump shooter in my time, that I know guys were confident enough to give me the ball to make a jump shot. So, and vice versa, I knew guys that could make that shot too. So damn right, I'm going to be unselfish and give them the ball. I just have a different mentality. I have a different perspective of the game, so I can understand where LeBron is coming from. Once you're comfortable with who you are and what your game is consistent of and what you could do and the impact that you could make, you don't worry about people. People have questioned him making those type of passes for years, and he's still going to do it, and I'm glad he's going to be doing it and continue to doing it. So at the end of the day, hey, it's done, it's over with. Regardless if that pass happened or not, the Lakers didn't play well enough to win that game. Defensively, they were atrocious. Coaching was terrible. It was just a bad game. So let's stop kind of shooting LeBron and trying to look for reasons to kill the guy. The guy is one of the greatest players we've ever seen. At 37, he's still doing marvelous things with the roster he has. And also, shout out to Russ. Russ played a great game the other night against Houston. Nobody's talking about it because he didn't do anything wrong. But as soon as Russ is doing something bad, everybody wants to say something. I'm a Russ fan. I've been a Russ supporter. Is he a fit for the Lakers? No, he's not. I think he needs to go somewhere else. And hopefully he gets an opportunity to play somewhere where he can win a championship. Maybe he's going to have to realize that coming off the bench is his best opportunity. He might be even better off the bench. But who knows? That's the future, and that's something that we could look into. as time goes by, as the off season hits in June ish. But right now, the Lakers are still in the play-in, so they have a chance. Crazy as it is, they still have a chance. We don't know what could happen between now and the end of April, so who knows? But folks, that's my take on these issues. I'm gonna give you guys more takes as time goes on, and thank you for listening to Unscripted 101. The journey begins now.